Good morning. Jesus gave his disciples, and indeed all of us, a new commandment, which is to love one another as he loved us. And today, on the third Sunday of Advent, we're given the opportunity to explore this commandment and engrave it deep within our hearts. As we've said on previous occasions, Advent is a season of preparation where we get ourselves ready to receive the blessings that God bestows upon the world at Christmas time. The third Sunday in Advent, in particular, is a time of rejoicing. In the Roman Catholic Church, it was called Gaudete Sunday, or Gaudete, which is Latin for rejoice. And the purpose of this Sunday is to provide a little bit of a break from the otherwise preparatory character of Advent. And that's why in many churches they actually use rose-coloured vestments instead of purple on this particular Sunday. It's a counterpart to Lateris Sunday or Refreshment Sunday in Lent, which is another season of preparation, though, for Easter. In the liberal Catholic Church, though, we like to focus on the love that Christ brings upon the world when he is incarnated. And this follows on quite nicely from the previous two intents that we had for Advent. We had the intent of discrimination, where we learn to exercise our will in order to put our attention on the things that are important and that bring us closer to God. Then we had self-forgetfulness, where we begin to let go of material and selfish things. And now we have love, which is when we start to activate that Christ light that is deep within us and radiate Christ's love upon the world in preparation for Christmas. So let's talk a little bit about what we mean by love, and particularly what Jesus meant by this great commandment, to love one another as he loved us. The collect for today has these great words here which give us a clue of what we're talking about. We ask God to inspire continually his universal church with the spirit of truth, unity, and concord. So we've got these two words here, unity and concord. And this tells us that when we're talking about love in this context, we're not talking about romantic love, but we're talking about the love that people in a society should have towards other people in that society. We are striving to live in unity and concord with all other people. And the epistle for today, which Kathy read, actually goes into this in a little bit more detail. This epistle from St. Paul to the Corinthians gives a metaphor for the church as a body. And St. Paul says that just as a body is made up of many members, a church is made up of many members. And he goes on to say that when you have a body, it is not just one member, but many, and they're all interdependent. He says that the eye can't say to the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. So straight away here, we've got a bit of an understanding of what we mean by this spirit of unity and concord. We're essentially talking about a recognition that everyone in the world has a role to play. And this is something that's discussed in the Liberal Catholic Summary of Doctrine, where we recognise that the world is the theatre of an ordered plan for the spiritual evolution of all of God's creation. And everything in that creation has a purpose and has a place. And we are all interdependent. And this is something that we need to recognise in order to accelerate the evolution and the growth of the Christ within. So what this means is that even if we're having negative interactions with people, it helps to sort of stop and think, how is this actually helping us? Because everything that's on the earth, everything that happens to us, is for a purpose. and for the purpose of our own spiritual evolution. So it's good to be grateful for that and to treat everything, even the negative things, as a learning opportunity and as an opportunity for spiritual growth. Often, when we're presented by negative situations or negative people, they're actually there to help us learn something about ourselves. In Jungian philosophy, there's this concept called the shadow, and often these negative things that we encounter are designed to bring out that shadow part of ourselves. And if we take advantage of this, we can actually evolve spiritually by becoming more aware of these things and working on them in a constructive way. And in this way, if we actually recognise that everything, the good and the bad, is a part of this one member, this one plan that's intended to work for our spiritual evolution, then we can accelerate that evolution and work with it rather than against it. So there's also other practical things that we can do to awaken this love that Christ is talking about. And that is to do acts of service. And this is something that is discussed in the Gospel for today. The Gospel is from the Gospel of John and tells the story of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. And on this particular event, Jesus washes the disciples' feet and tells them, well, you call me your master and Lord, and I am your master and Lord, but I've washed your feet, so you should also do the same. And here, later in the Gospel, he actually says that the servant is not greater than his Lord, and neither he that is sent is greater than he that sent him. And here, Jesus is recognizing the fact that he himself was sent by the Father, and he is not greater than the Father. Likewise, no servant is greater than he that sent him. So it helps to have a little bit of humility, and particularly people who are in positions of power or privilege should remember that God doesn't place people into these positions so that they can exploit and lord over other people, but rather these people are placed into these positions so that they can serve. Just as Jesus Christ washed his disciples' feet, so other lords and masters should wash the feet of their servants and the people that are underneath them. Everyone in the world needs to remember that we are all here to serve each other. And this encourages that spirit of unity and concord that was referred to in the collects. Just think about it. If we all take an attitude of service and unselfishness, just think about how much better the world would be. So during this season of Advent, have a think about how you can serve others. Think about the contribution that everybody brings to your life and to your spiritual evolution. And as you think more about these things, and as you perform more and more acts of service, you will start engraving this great commandment to love one another deep into your heart, and this will accelerate the awakening of the Christ within.